For those of you that are on YouTube and you're watching this later in time, skip ahead a few minutes and you can bypass the wait time usually because I am live streaming. There's about a 10-minute wait before we actually get started, so this will be an archived live stream. That's what I'm putting up on YouTube. And yeah, we just like to wait for folks to pop in and give everybody time so we can get their feedback on what I'm actually talking about. I'll see you guys in a bit. Oh, also, for those of you that are watching this later in time, actually, I'll say all this stuff at the beginning of the stream. Probably better that way. For those of you just popping in, what is going on in the chat room? Pro Gamer, what's going on? What's going on, Tab? Are you guys ready to talk about last year? This is going to be a very short stream, probably like 30, maybe 40 minutes. I don't want to make it an hour because there's really not too much to talk about. There's like a handful of stuff to talk about. This game has been very quiet about their development. The Glitch Wizard and Yeezy, what is going on? Linger is only moderately interesting. Let's just say, in my opinion, I'm just excited for what they have shown. I can't speak for the game because I've never seen the game. Nobody has seen the game yet, the actual game. Alright, you guys, we should probably, get started. I think we got enough people in here. We'll keep this music on as, some background. It will be nice. You know. So yeah, we are going to talk about some last year. You guys. And, for those of you that are going to be watching this later, just to let you know, if you're like, who is this Laphin guy? For those of you that need to know, this is on YouTube. For those in the chat room, this is for people on YouTube later. So I stream mainly on Twitch TV/Laphin. We play horror games here, mostly asymmetrical multiplayer horror and other kinds of horror. You got The Evil Within 2 coming out. There's like a handful of horror coming out. It's going to be amazing October. It's the asymmetrical thing. It's a new genre. It's a genre I want to see grow. So, you know, I play Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, games like Deceit, White Noise 2, and other such asymmetrical themed games that will drop. I'm sure a lot of them will start dropping after this year. So last year is actually coming out with a beta in October. October is, you know, cooking up to be a pretty busy month, not only with video games, but with movies. Like, this is a big year for horror in general. Like, it's gonna be awesome. You got, like, people are already getting excited for the 80s. Like, all this nostalgia kind of stuff's coming back. Night Trap. I had like 100 people almost watching Night Trap last night. This is a little FMV game that was on Sega CD, drawing that kind of attention. Usually if I deviate away from Friday the 13th, I get like 20 to 30 people. Nobody ever wants me watch. They don't want to watch me play anything but Friday the 13th. Or Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight gets a good crowd as well. And so, like, that many people in for, like, Night Trap, that's saying something. Like, I almost wish the devs were in my stream last night so they could see, like, everybody was excited over this game. It was really cool. We will play some more Night Trap today. Because just everybody was like, some people came in, they didn't get to see it. They were like, what is this? It's like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, and that was my first time playing Night Trap. I thought it was fucking awesome. So let's get back onto the point. Don, what's going on? Let's get back onto the point. What last year devs have shown us is pretty damn amazing so far. But because of that, let me pull up one of my windows really quick. Because of that, they're gonna have like people's expectations for this game is like super high already, and they haven't even seen that much. That's the thing, which is good because. And here, let me show you guys. Like, it starts off with, you know, their website is frigging amazing to look at, very professional. And they have some information, you know, they're getting ready for October. They got a trailer. The only thing is they've only got really one, real gameplay video, and it's not even real gameplay. It is staged, but you can see what the game is going to look like. That's the big thing. You can see what the game's going to look like, and it looks really freaking good. So I'll go ahead and, well, before we look at the video, I'll go ahead and show you guys some of the pages. Most of you have seen this already. Some people may be coming in here that have never even heard of this game before. So, welcome to the Nightmare. It's going to be 5 versus 1 survival horror. You guys can go to the website and read the little details on it. You're students, and you got to escape from a school, at least on that map. And, you know, and then the villain and all that good stuff. Very nice little kind of a backstory for each character. You got Chad. You know, age 19, 6 foot tall, he's your jock. And then you got Troy, 18, Amber, 17. Again, you guys can go to the website and read their backstory. I'm sure you will want to do that on your own. Anyway, Nick has his little rat on his shoulder. Like, looks like a really cool looking nerd. He got his little pencils and shit on his belt. And you have Samantha. I don't know if any of these characters have undergone design changes since they've posted this on their website. I don't know how up to date they are on their website. But then you got the killers, the slasher, you know, who everybody's probably going to be playing. But then they got the giant and also like the Strangler. So they have really cool designs for these characters. Maybe at some point they can put a mask. They can get a masked killer and everything will be cool. I hope when they come out, like that's one thing I've wondered too, like Dead by Daylight devs, these are going to be the 3 big runners. You know, you got the devs from Dead by Daylight, the devs from Friday the 13th, Gun Media, Ilphonic, and then the devs for this game. Like, they're going to be the 3 big runners. I hope they learn to all 3 get along and work competitively against each other to make their games better. I think this would be a healthy thing for all 3, you know? Like, Dead by Daylight can see something cool that last year did, not copy it, but twirl it in a way that works in their own game. You know, that will help these games to grow. Like if somebody has a really awesome idea and they like snatch up half the other person's audience on Twitch or some shit like that, then that is going to be encouraged. That's going to encourage the other person, the other devs to do something even better. And it's going to make this genre, that's what's going to make this genre grow, I think. So it's positive, you know, really good competitive atmosphere that is growing between the devs. Okay, so you guys look at the locations though. This is the most exciting thing out of the whole thing that, you know, that they've been showing anybody. Because as you know, like look at the high school. Each location, such as Eastside High School, is loaded with items like tools, weapons that you'll scavenge for. That is the friggin' concept art for the high school. And you guys will see in a bit that if they can keep up this level of, it looks AAA. Now they are an indie team, and that's why they probably held their beta off. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, last year is only PC. That is a smart choice they made. They don't want too much on their table. I'm answering the chat now for those of you watching on YouTube. Yeah, last year is only PC. I think if they would have brought it to console as well, they would have had more problems on their plate than they would want, and then they wouldn't be able to concentrate on the cosmetics of the game and the mechanics that they would really need to be focusing on at release. So yeah, it's only going to be on PC at first. If this game does well, I could see it moving to console from what they've shown, and then if it live up to what their expectations is going to be, their view. They got the high school. Now the thing going back to what I was originally talking about, look at the high school though. That's concept art. When we watch the video, look at this. That's in game. It looks exactly like the concept art. That's what has me really excited. So I mean, here after knowing that, you got that in your mind, right? After knowing that, as we scroll down, you have the mall, which is also going to be cool because, you know, zombies. Even though it's a killer you're running at, but it's cool to run around in the mall. You get to like hide in the stores and shit while there's somebody trying to kill you. Everybody's had that kind of daydream about running from a killer in a mall. And then they got the suburbs. That's the concept art. If they can make the in-game look like that, that's gonna be fucking, and you can go in the houses, that's gonna be a ridiculous experience. If they can live up to the expectation, why I keep saying that is because there's some little holes that you notice when you watch their Predator video, the only video they have shown anybody. And we'll talk about that as we're watching the video of why this game is getting people excited for it, but at the same time, it's like, are they going to be able to deliver? And I think that, you know, that's what they're trying to work towards. And then they have the summer camp. I don't know if it's going to be at daylight or if they're going to make it in dark, because there is also this screenshot. I will show you in a moment. There is also that screenshot. So I don't know if their version of a summer camp, if they do it in daylight, then that's kind of cool, because if they do the daylight thing first, Friday the 13th will be able to look at that and be like, hey, a daylight summer camp actually can be scary. This is what it looks like visually. Then they can maybe create something, you know, similar. Yeah, what it would be cool is if it started off at like dusk, yeah, like you're saying, and then it got darker as the game progressed. That would be really cool. No, that's the thing, you guys. When they come out, you guys are talking about the beta in the chat room. When they come out with the beta, it's not going to be perfect. No, you guys need to realize that when you play the beta, you're going to see glitches, you're going to see bugs, you're going to see weird shits that's going to take you out of the experience. But you need to realize that while this game looks amazing and it looks AAA, you got to realize this is still a small team of people. Dead by Daylight had problems when it released, and they had to really go through a process to fix it. Friday the 13th is going through the same thing, and they're having to go through a process to fix it. Last year is going to come out, and it's going to have to go through the same process to fix it. You know, it's really hard to dodge the things. This is a new genre of game. You know, they're going to have all these. They're trying new things. They're going to have problems in order to balance it and fix it. And then when they become, since this is brand new, they're still teething. Once they become veterans at this stuff, like they're gonna be the ones creating the AAA asymmetrical horror games because they've been doing it for a while. You know, but right now it's gonna go through hurdles. But going back to the shebang, we're gonna go ahead and watch that video, and then I'm gonna talk actually during the video, because you can go ahead and watch it anytime you want without commentary. But we're gonna look at the loopholes and the things that could go wrong and the things that could bring this game down if it's not some of the stuff they're gonna be working on. Immediate questions, immediate criticism. We can hear it right here on this video that I'm gonna give. While he's talking, you'll hear what he's talking about as well. Let me turn off the old Nightcrawler here. Oh, if I can find it, hold on. It's on the other screen. Give me a second. I'll put that up for a moment. Where did you go? There we go. Okay. I was like, the window just disappeared on me. All right, here we go now. You'll take a peek. Uh-oh. All right, hold on before we actually start. This is actually a really cool intro. Hold on. There's a window I gotta bring back up here. I know, technical difficulties. Where are, okay, I'm gonna have to open a new window. My Twitch screen went away, so I can't see what you guys are saying. Give me a moment. And okay, now we're good. And okay, back to what we were looking at. Yay for technical difficulties. All right, continuing. So it's still, even in the gameplay, looks exactly
I'm Kevin Scarf. I'm
like
the marketing
the concept.
director on Last Year. Last Year is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game where one killer has to hunt down a group of teenagers. I'm playing as the Slasher, one of 3 playable killers that ships with the game. The game is set on Halloween night in 1996. We've been meticulously crafting a universe that draws you in and puts you in the center of your own 90s horror film. Survivors can actually fight back with weapons, so being the killer means you need to be smart and creative with how you attack your victims. One of the best ways to do this is with Predator mode. This lets the killer unspawn and turn invisible at any time. The killer can then move extremely fast, completely invisible to the other players, and use this to plan the perfect ambush.
Okay, so we'll start with that one. There's many loopholes with that. What is that? So we don't know the balancing of that mechanic and how it's going to work. Can you just unspawn behind people? Like, that is the thing. How far can he be? Does he have to be in view? Like, if the survivors learn how to stand, like if it's a thing where he can only unspawn if nobody's looking at him. The first question with that is, can he just unspawn behind people? Does he have to be in a certain distance? Does, like, because what if nobody's looking at him and they're just standing in a locker or something and he just comes up, unspawns, and starts attacking? Like, that could be a problem. And then, like, if he can only unspawn with people when they're not looking at him, when he's out of view completely, what if everybody learns to run around in such a way that he can't ever unspawn? Like, they know how to run the rooms, right? So he's, depending on where he's at, like, they do it in such a way that he can never fucking unspawn because they're always got their eyes on every room that they're going into. And they learn to move, like all these things, kind of like, what is the balance that went in that? So there's like there's more questions.
Boy, with the survivors. To spawn in or out, the killer has to be out of sight, or use the environment as a spawn point. There's a couple of survivors now. It looks like Chad and Troy. They might actually have weapons already.
Hey, you never know, man. Maybe maladapted. Maybe they're busting up in the school and they're trying to have a fucking Halloween party in the school. You seen like Halloween? They tried to have a party up in their school. All right, let me scoot back a little bit.
There's a couple of survivors now. It looks like Chad and Troy. They might actually have weapons already, so it could be risky to try and attack two people head on. What I'll do is unspawn and look before I plan my attack. First, I'll place a trap here.
Okay, so he's placing a trap, right? Why go through the trouble of placing a trap? What is the balance of a trap versus just unspawning close by, running over and starting to chop the guy until he's dead? Like, why go through the trouble of placing a trap and doing all this stuff when you could just fucking run over and hit the guy? That's another question. Like, how does that balance? Is the trap more important? Does it get you more points? Like, what is the balance over just running over and hacking the guy up with your axe? So, and then again, that's like how far can you unspawn from the guy and spawn back to reality, and then just run over there and just fucking kill him?
Last year's build with different environmental spots, like this trapdoor, that the killer can use to separate survivors from one another. Now I'm going to actually use that skylight up there as my spawn point.
See, okay, again.
To separate survivors from one another. Now I'm going to...
Hold on, let me go back.
What I'll do is unspawn and look before I plan my attack. First, I'll place a trap here.
Places a trap.
Last year's build with different environmental spots.
Again, why doesn't he just run over there instead of throwing the dude and separating him from the other guy? Why? Like, why? He's standing right there. You just kill him. Why would you need to throw him on a completely different floor? Now you've lost him. He's on a completely different floor. You got to go look for him again. That's the question.
Like this trapdoor that the killer can use to separate survivors from one another. Now I'm going to actually use that skylight up there as my spawn point.
And he couldn't see that?
I'm going to go in for the kill.
See, that's the thing. It's all staged.
We hope you enjoyed this preview of last year.
So
we look forward to sharing more gameplay.
That's the only thing. Like, I don't know what they've changed. I don't know what they've changed about the game since this trailer and whatever. But that's the thing, is the trailer brings up more questions than it. It's impressive to look at, but is it going to be fun to play? That's yeah, everything is staged on that. But here, let me pull my musics back up. But yeah, and that's but it looks like it could be fun. It just, are those gameplay mechanics with the traps and all that stuff, is it going to work? And, you know, there's going to be, when people get their hands on that beta, and that's the thing we were talking about as well, is the devs, and it happened, you know, and the devs, and even the play testers, we have our way of playing, right? And you find your character, and you find your play style of playing, and you kind of stick with it. And then you don't get to see, like, when you throw your game out and thousands of people start playing it, they're going to find stuff that you have never even thought to look at. And then you're going to be like, oh, that really ruins our mechanic. You know, they're going to start playing in a way that's like, it's going to break your mechanic. And then you got to go and refine it and redo it and like turn some knobs and like do all that stuff. And it happens. It's just people play differently than one another. They will do things that you don't think they would do while they're playing the game. And then once they do it and another person sees it and another person sees it and another person sees it, pretty much then everybody's doing it. So yeah, they're going to have to go through those kinds of motions like every game did. But that's my view on it. What do you guys think in the chat room? I'm going to scroll back up and see what you guys' comments are. Let me go find the while you guys are thinking up questions and comments. Oh, no. There we go. Put that on. It's more appropriate. No running, y'all. No running in the halls. Where's your pass? Screw your pass. But if that's in the game, I will be freaked. Oh, let me go down a bit more. You'd get salty if you couldn't unspawn. Well, see, that's the thing is, though, you can't unspawn. You can't. I don't think they would let you unspawn back into reality or spawn back into reality behind somebody, and then you can just go wail on them. Does that mean they closed the school? I think nobody's in the school at night. It's almost supposed to be like they broke into the school, I guess. Maybe they wanted to grab something for Halloween, or they want to have a party down there. Who knows? Maybe, who knows what the objectives are? Do they just want to escape? I don't know. Are they locked in the school? Maybe they got in the school. The killer knew. Whoever the killer was maybe tracked them for a bit and, you know, saw that they wanted to go in the school to do something, and he followed them in there at night and then made sure all the doors were locked. And now they're stuck inside. It's like, just break a window and get out. Oh, yeah, I put my email in for updates. That's been in there. That's a super visible trap, right? It's like huge. It doesn't look like a trap that a killer would lay, right? It looks like something like... Hold on. Like, this trap looks like something that they would lay down in Aliens. It's a little too sci-fi looking for me. Hold on a second. Let's look at this trap for a second.
First,
I'll pull it up.
we'll place a trap here.
Like, that is not a trap for people. Hold on. Like, I can understand. I just don't believe a killer would be carrying that. It looks like... it looks like it was made in about the year 2090. And it's laid down for an alien. The bull alien. Why are you laying this contraption down for a student, a 16-year-old boy or girl? But yeah, that's a little bit funny. They gotta just make it a scarier looking trap. I don't want no sci-fi shit on the ground. Come on with that mess. I would never use my locker if it was a front of a painfully obvious trap door, right? I mean, that was like a big silver thing on the floor. Those kids, like, the traps are gonna have to be hidden. If they have them visible, like, it's coming. Miss Jackson, the beta comes out October. I forget, what is it, 31st? Is it right there at the end? I don't know. It's earlier than that. It's like in the 20s. I think it's the 17th through the 21st. I'm not sure. I had to go back and look at it again. You guys can find all the info right on the website, lastyeargame.com. Maybe 2 survivors can trap the killer by beating them up. I don't know how how do you attack the killer? Like, how are the weapons going to work? And that's probably why they're delaying it. You know, they probably don't have the animations in. The voiceovers probably aren't in. Their animations probably aren't how people want. They want, because if you go into the beta and you play it and everything's janky, that's gonna be your. I mean, yeah, you'll understand, and they've told you time and time again, there's glitches and bugs, and it's a beta. But still, something in your head is going to be like, well, you know, that's kind of janky looking. I hope they fix it. You know, even though you know it's a beta. And they probably know everything that needs to be fixed, even if they did put it out as a beta right now. But you, as the consumer, you want to be impressed. At the same time, you do want to give criticism for... Well, it's going to be first person, pro gamer. So the weapon swings will probably be a lot faster than... I see the game is probably being a little bit more fast-paced than Friday the 13th, because everything is first person. The swings, I'm assuming, are not going to be that slow. But we will see. You never know. It probably depends on what kind of weapon you have, too. Like, the bigger the weapon, the slower they swing it. The smaller the weapon, the quicker it'll be. You know, mix it up a little bit. Don't just give everybody one swing. That's one thing that kind of put me off about Friday the 13th's combat too, is I was hoping that when I got a machete, they would be swinging it way faster than when you have a bigger, like a lead pipe or whatever, and that the lead pipes, because they swung slower, we're going to be able to stun Jason. But as you see, the lead pipe is very crappy. Like, nobody uses the lead pipe in Friday the 13th because there's no purpose to it. It doesn't do anything. It's like hitting Jason with a paper, like with a spork. It doesn't do anything at all. Will it be like Scooby-Doo? I do not think it'll be like Scooby-Doo. It's going to be... I don't think they're shooting for that. I think they want last year to be a lot more scarier than the killer. But it would be cool to have some Scooby-Doo, like survivors come in. I want to see some Scooby-Doo characters. Scooby-Doo-esque characters. How does that killer jump so high and he breaks the glass too? I know, right? Like, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm assuming that the killer is going to have different points to ambush the survivors, which will be really cool. Like, if that's the way he had to appear, how awesome would that be? Forget the spawn thing. Just give the killer like a lot of points to where he can hide in a lot. He can spawn himself in a locker or spawn himself in some kind of hiding spot, right? So that way, when the survivor runs by that thing, which there are a lot of them around, so it's really easy for him to do. That's not the only way he could appear, but it's just one of the ways. Like, he could he'd have this thing that's like close to the ground, a locker, a curtain, like something he can get behind that when the survivor starts running past, he can just jump out and scare the shit out of him, and then the chase begins, kind of thing. Like, that would be kind of cool. Still reading the chat. A chainsaw in a school. Can you imagine? And you hear the sounds echoing down the halls? That would be amazing. That'd be cool. If somebody had the suggestion of the killer, or even maybe the counselors, could get on the PA system in the high school. So say you find the principal's office, right? It's in the 80s and in the 90s. So like, I don't know how it would work, but yeah, go to the principal's office, get on the PA system, and you could fucking, like, when you talk into your microphone, like, it would go out into the, that would be awesome. It goes out into the entire school. They were talking about that on the Discord. I thought that was a really cool idea. So that would be really, that would suck though, because then you could get some really annoying people. You're just in the school and you hear some idiot like yelling some shit but they see, that's what makes it funny though, because when they do that, now the killer knows that that person's in the principal's office, right? And now that buys the other survivors, I'm always wanting to say counselors, that always buys the survivors time, because they'd be like, the killer's gonna go to the principal's office because this idiot on the fucking PA system, right? That would be amazing. That would be a cool distraction for the killer. Like, the killer can then choose to ignore it, or maybe he might be just like 5 feet from the principal's. What if you hear somebody yelling on the PA system and then the killer just pops in there and kills them and you hear them scream? Like, you hear the person on the microphone get scared by it. They're still holding the button down. Oh, that would be the funniest shit. They have got to put that in the high school. That would be the funniest fucking shit. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, that would be a cool thing to see. Like, I can't wait to see like these ideas for, you know, the high school and then the mall. And then they'll just add on to those maps after they're released, hopefully, and create, as people come up with cool things and cool ideas that would actually work and balance well with both sides, killer and survivor. But yeah, I can't wait to see. I don't want to make this too long, you guys. It's going to be pretty short because there's really not much to talk about with this game yet. It's just that they've gotten everybody hyped with what they've released. But yeah, they got a Discord, you guys. Go on their website. Their Discord's there. They do have a Twitter. Last year game was their Twitter. And, but that rat is adorable. Oh, the rat. Hold on. Yes. Nick has a rat on his shoulder. But yeah, it's a really good idea. I can't wait to see. We won't know more until hopefully maybe the end of this month or in September. You guys, they gotta work us up for September. Come on, last year devs. Get it. You got a marketing guy in there. Get him rolling. Like, when September rolls out, you guys are gonna have to like hit it. You gotta get that marketing train going. You already got like you already, without even showing much, you've already created hype. But you gotta let us know some more. People are really skeptical. At the same time that there is hype for this game, there is also high skepticism because nobody's seen a match being played yet. Like Friday the 13th early on, they weren't afraid to show us alpha, but they explained that it was, you know, not the best thing in the world. People still complained. But you know what? In the end, it doesn't matter. People are going to complain because there's a lot of people out there that don't, you know, they don't think. They don't use their head. They can't say, hey, this is an alpha version of the game. Like, but just show us a match. We want to see the match. You guys never know. Like, you show us a match, we can have input. Like, creative. Like, you'll be like, oh, we didn't think about that. Show us a match before you throw the beta out. Show us a match that you guys have played in the office. Because then a lot of players will look at that and they'll be like, oh, that's what about this? And then the developers might not have heard that. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, we didn't think about that. and then, you know, they can fix it before they put out the beta, you know? So, yeah, just show a match or something. You know, that's the big argument right now. Is they're like, I'm really looking forward to this game, but I have no idea what the hell it really looks like. So with that, you guys, we will wrap it up. That's pretty much all we wanted to talk about with last year. I'll post this up on YouTube. Maybe a lot of new people will see this game. If you're new and you've never seen this game, go down to the YouTube comments. What do you think? Tell us about it. What is in your head? What do you want to see done with this title? It is all first person First person on the killer side, first person on the counselor side. Kind of a cool switch. You got Dead by Daylight, which is third person, first person on the killer. Friday the 13th, which is all third person, and then this, which is all first person. So there's a nice chemistry between all three of these games. I hope they all three keep growing. Dead by Daylight last year and Friday the 13th, because they're going to be the top runners, I think. If last year, and we don't even know if last year is going to deliver yet. I hope it does, because I want there to be like the three big runners that support their game and have a really nice multiplayer horror atmosphere and community. Because this is a new thing, and I want to see it. I want to see it get good for all these developers. But all right, you guys, we're gonna come back a little bit later for some Night Trap, because a lot of people didn't get to see that. There was a big crowd in here last night for it, as we were talking about earlier. It was like 100 people in here watching Night Trap. Almost. We were close. But I was like, damn. And then there's another game, Scene of the Crime, which is like their prototype that they made, which is a whole nother game. So they put that in there. I'm going to play that. It's pretty sweet. All right, you guys. I'm going to cut out Don, Tab, the Glitch Wizard. Everybody that's in here lurking and watching. We'll see you next time.